In this topic, I'm going to talk about some complex SQLs, not too much complex, but if you're a beginner in SQL, then you might find it a little complex. So the first thing that I want to talk about is having clause. So what a having clause is. The first thing is that having clause is used only with aggregate functions. You will not find any use case wherein or having clause is used without any aggregate functions. So aggregate functions like sum, average, minimum, maximum, count, and a few more. So this is where having clause is used. Now let's say this is my select statement. I am selecting payment method and I am using the aggregate function sum price as cardwise spent. So this is the alias of this column from orders table and I am grouping by payment method. Now you know what would happen because we have 5 payment methods. The sum would be shown at payment method level, meaning all the price for American Express would be added, all the price for Visa would be added, all the price for Chase would be added, and so on. Now, a question to you: can we apply where condition on the card-wise spend? So, can I say give me the payment method of the cards rather, where card-wise spent is more than let's say certain amount? Let's try this out. And what I have done is that I have downloaded PSQL in my local machine and I'll be logging in from my local machine. I'm not using the EC2 machine anymore. And again, we have these databases. I'll use SQL basics database and let me connect to that. Now, as you already know, I have these many tables, order details 2, 3, and we do not need these tables. Customers, orders, and sellers should be okay. And I had truncated these tables and I have loaded these tables with larger records. So basically, if you see, I have 3 files in the larger data set. Use those files to load these 3 tables. The process of loading the tables are same. With one thing is that here after the bucket, so this is the bucket a 3 IAM SQL dataset, and this is the object name, and before the name you'll have to mention folder name like this. So if you have only one folder inside of this bucket, then mention the folder name slash, and if you have one folder, after that you have a subfolder, and then you have the dataset, then mention the folder slash the subfolder, which might be large dataset, and slash the file. Don't do try to do so much fancy stuff as of now if you do not know what S3 folders and buckets are used for. But this is what I have done. I have loaded the tables, and before loading the tables I have used truncate table cascade command, like this: truncate table sellers cascade. So I have used this for order customers table and sellers table because these two are the parent tables for the orders table. So that's why I had to use this, otherwise I cannot delete the records because it would say that orders table references sellers table and orders table references customers table when you try to just truncate the tables. So remember to use truncate table cascade for sellers table and customers table. So if I do a count star now, the sellers table has 1000 rows, customers table has 10,000 rows, and the orders table has 1 million rows. So this is the command, or this is the SQL statement I'm trying to run. Select payment method followed by the aggregate function, which is sum price, and I'm aliasing this as cardwise spend from orders, and I have mentioned the where condition here, where cardwise spent is greater than $10,000 and group by payment method. So if I execute this, it says the column cardwise spent does not exist, but actually it does. So let's say this is the column, why it is showing that it does not exist, or maybe can I write some price greater than 10,000? Let's try with that one also without the alias. And it says aggregate functions are not allowed in where clause. Now what might be the reason? First of all, aggregate function is not allowed, that is fine, but even when I use the cardwise underscore spend column name in the where clause, it is giving me error. The reason is how the records are processed in SQL. So I have this orders table, and data would be pulled from the orders table by the SQL statement, and then aggregation function would be applied on top of it, which is sum in our case, and the result set would be given back to the client. And the where clause is actually applied here before the aggregation. So the filtering happens even before the aggregation is done. So now you can imagine that I cannot use the card-wise spent column in the where clause, because the where clause does not know about this aggregation sum, because it is happening after the filtration is done. So once all the filtration is done, then only the aggregation is applied. So the alias card-wise spent does not exist yet when where clause is applied. So that's why we are getting that error. But there can be scenarios wherein I want to apply certain condition on these aggregated results. So what is the way to do that? I think it's pretty straightforward, that you apply the condition on the result set itself. And that's where having is used. After group by, if I mention having cardwise print followed by the condition, then it would work, because having condition is applied on the result set. So on the first result set rather. So when the first result set comes out, we already know, or the SQL statement knows about the column name cardwise underscore spent. So here the having condition would be applied, and then another result set would be given back to us. So this is how having condition works. Now if I execute the same statement, first let's see the results, and here's the result. Actually it's pretty big. Now what will I do? I will mention having card wise spend greater than maybe this one. So let's mention this. In this case only the discover card should come out. Now we cannot use the column also, we can only use the aggregation. So as you can see, cardwise, if I run cardwise spend, it says cardwise spend does not exist. But if we use the aggregate function after this, after some price is greater than this, it is giving me only one output. What happens here is that the having condition is applied on the result set, and the result set already has the aggregation calculated. So that's why having condition does not take too much of time to apply the condition and give back the results.